How's it going, guys? Persona Cheese here, and today we'll be looking at a really strong weapon for Naoto in Persona 4 Golden. As with all weapons like this, to obtain it you need to return to the secret laboratory after October 6th, reach the top floor and defeat the boss inside, the Extreme Vessel. So before we talk about the weapon itself, I'll go over the boss fight you have to do to get it, because this is one of the harder ones. Before I start though, let me just say that you don't need to be as high level as I was for this fight. As long as you beat Shadow Naoto okay, you should be fine. As for who to bring, Yosuke works because he has wind plus wind boost if you have it on him, which he learns at level 44, plus he learns Bazooka Kaja at level 60. That's kind of it really, but those are still good reasons to bring him. Naoto's good because while she doesn't have wind boost, she still has Garudine, plus she has no weaknesses to the boss to exploit. Having Yukiko and or Teddy is really important because considering the strength of the Extreme Vessel's attacks, you're gonna need the healing. Teddy learns Ice Boost at level 40, which does good damage combined with his high magic, Mataru Kaja at 42, Maraku Kaja at 58, and Marakunda as of October 7th from his social link. These support skills make him better than Yukiko for this fight, but Yukiko's a good choice too for her insane fire damage and better healing from Divine Grace if you got a social link to rank 4. As for the rest, Chie is a terrible magic user and a decent physical user, but not as good as the tank that is Kanji, especially if you have Power Charge on him from rank 6 of his social link. That being said though, between the others, there's not really any room for Kanji. Another thing I should mention is that the Extreme Vessel is neutral to physical, fire, ice, and electric, so any party member can damage him. Anyway, my ideal team would be Teddy, Yukiko, and Naoto, or swap one of them for Yosuke if you can't or don't want to use one of these three. Moving on, the Extreme Vessel has access to the heavy physical attack Virus Wave, and more importantly, Power Charge and God's Hand, so bringing a persona that's immune to physical or at the very least resists it is really important here. Personas like Kinki, Rangda, or Siegfried work well. If you can't do that, try and get Tetrakan and or a bunch of physical mirrors. If you can get Garudine on said persona, that would be ideal as this boss is weak to wind and nothing else. But if you can't get a physical immune persona with Garudine, you should at least get a wind persona in general, like Lachesis, Garuda, or Jatayu. Or if you can't get them, Clotho, Kuruma Tengu, and Fuki only start with Garula, but are still decent for this. Just make sure to swap to your physical immune persona if the boss uses Power Charge. Also, Mind Charge, or Power Charge if you want to use physical attacks, is great for whittling down this enemy's super high health. And one last thing about personas, you want to get rid of the weaknesses of the personas you intend to use for this fight, if they have any, because the Extreme Vessel has access to everything from fire to wind. On top of that, he likes using Mind Charge followed up by an elemental attack to strike someone's weakness, but which element he uses is random, so have everyone guard when he does this, even Naoto. It does a lot of damage, even without weaknesses. Apart from the moves I already mentioned, all he uses is Rebellion, which I wouldn't guard every time he uses it unless he uses Power Charge too, because if you do, he'll take much longer to bring down. Once you beat this boss, look around the operation table and you'll find the Algernon. It does 230 damage and has 85 accuracy, which are pretty good, but what makes this weapon so amazing is that it gives Naoto +5 to all stats. I don't think I need to explain why that's good, but just in case I do, boosting her strength and magic means all her attacks deal more damage, boosting her endurance and agility make her take less damage and have her turn sooner, and boosting her luck does something. In all honesty, I'm not entirely sure what luck does, even after looking it up for a bit, but let's just ignore that and focus on the other stats. Not only that, unlike a fair few of the weapon bonuses in this game, this one actually helps you even when you're not using basic attacks. These things combined, plus the fact that +5 is a pretty substantial increase, make this, in my opinion, the best weapon bonus Naoto can get. The only bonus that even comes close is the one from the machine pistol, which gives +10 endurance, but even then, I'd say that +5 to all stats is far better, even with the extra damage and accuracy the machine pistol has. All things considered, this may not be the best weapon Naoto can get, but it definitely comes close, and you might just end up using it for half the game. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see the main character's best weapon in Persona 4 Golden, click the link on screen.